out of Kentucky. He is ecstatic because in shocking fashion in South Beach, somehow the Titans downed the Miami Dolphins after a historical comeback. Shocked. Joy Taylor, you lived in Miami, so you have to speak to it first. How embarrassing was that Dolphins loss?
Yeah, I was in Miami this weekend. Beautiful weekend and a terrible Monday night.
My goodness.
Embarrassing. Yeah, welcome to the Dolphins fan experience. For those of you who are not privy, this is life. 14-point lead with 3 minutes left, and the rookie Will Levis and his muscles lead 2 back-to-back 2-minute drills. Go 3 and out.
Yeah, he working out.
3 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, he working out though.
Yeah, we be listening.
Like,
yeah, he drinking his milk in the morning. he eating his Wheaties. He take football serious.
That dude has muscles. 4 and 2074. 4 and 2074. That's the record when teams are down 14 or more.
For real? That's a record?
4 and 2074.
He went 9 plays, 75 yards.
Come on.
And then they went 3 and out, and then he went 64 yards on 4 plays. He's a
Hey, throw a
rookie.
screen. Look, them screens we talked about.
I can't even I'm not going to act like I'm surprised because this is an experience I'm familiar with, but it is extremely frustrating, especially the way that game had gone all night long. And they give you 2 gifts. It's over.
Yes.
It's over. Just get a stop.
Give you a couple gifts.
Dropping the ball and goal line touchdown interceptions. It's a disaster. So this is why it's very difficult to trust the Dolphins. They're still a good team. They still have a lot of talent and a lot of potential. But man, get it done.
Dolphins in trouble.
Really frustrating. And as a side note, before I pass it off, what do you do without Tyreek? What do you do without Tyreek?
I don't want to pivot. So
what do you do without Tyreek? We'll circle back around to it then, but I'm gonna throw it out there.
My issue with the Dolphins is very, very simple. Players are a reflection of their coach. And the Miami Dolphins, in my mind, are a reflection of their coach for better, a lot better, but also for worse. Mike McDaniel, he is incredibly smart. Went to Yale, brilliant mind. He's loose. He's fun. What are the Dolphins? They're smart. They're loose. They're fun. They score a touchdown, do the wheelbarrow race. They score another touchdown, they here with it. But then they start to feel themselves a little bit too much. Mike McDaniel, y'all know he's a little too loose. Sometimes you want him to be a little more serious. What happened after the Dolphins beat the Broncos by 50? Though the next week lose to the Bills by 28. Tua Tagovailoa has to get to the podium, and he simply says, it's very humbling. And for some of us, much needed. Why y'all feeling yourselves so much already? What have y'all done? What happened last night? Dolphins, loose. They're fun. Wheelbarrow races. But then you blow a 13-point lead, with 3 minutes in the game. Players are a reflection of their coach. To me, Mike McDaniel, he has to lead this troop and lead this squad better. Mike McDaniel is brilliant. I will give him his flowers for his brilliance. But in the same breath, I need him at least at times to elicit a little more seriousness into that locker room. Think about the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're not that creative, but they're always tough. What's Mike Tomlin? He ain't that creative, but he's always tough. Think about the Patriots. They are bland as can be. What is their coach? Bland as can be, but they come to work every single day. Players are a reflection of their coach. And the Miami Dolphins right here, right now, are a brilliant football team. But I wish they would be more serious in times like this.
I agree with that. I think he could be a little more serious as a head coach sometimes. What his interviews is like, all right, I get it. But I don't know if he's the issue last night. You think it was his fault they lost that game?
I think the temperament. You know what I mean? Like, you can't lose. It's not his fault directly, obviously. I think the temperament, Shady, the temperament of that football team.
I just say small things like, I have a lot of faith and trust in Tua as the quarterback for that team. And he does too. I'm sure you do too.
Of course.
But like small things like, you can't be fumbling the football on a 3-yard line. When you have a bad team you playing against that don't have no confidence as a young quarterback, they can't get a winning streak going on, you gotta put your foot on their throat and squash them out. Give them no hope. No confidence.
Yeah, early.
You early in the game, you score right there, that's like what? It'd be 14-zip or something like that?
Yeah, it would have been hard for the Titans to come back.
Yeah, small things like that. Okay, then we have the 13-point lead with 3 minutes left?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at the game. They threw a screen for 40, 50, something, 60 yards on the field. Then they scored. I thought, okay, as an offense, let's put the game away. They didn't do that. I can't blame the coach for that. And then the biggest piece I have,
talk to me,
what I've been talking about all year, right? I didn't let the crazy people in Vegas right, tell me that the MVP should be quarterbacks. It should be Tyreek Hill. When he's out the game, do you see the difference? They a whole different team. Did you see the difference?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They can't move the ball. Yeah. He comes back instantly. Boom, gets a spark. For himself, for his team, for everybody.
Yeah.
This is why I keep harping on, we have to really look at the game. Look at the players. Look what they're doing to the game. He's so valuable to his team, and he's putting up stats. He's so good, and he's so valuable. He missed 3 quarters, to be correct.
Basically, he was
number-wise, he missed 3 quarters.
He was in and out.
And he's still on pace to have 2,000 yards receiving.
James, let me pivot here. Let me pivot to this because you are the wide receiver at the desk. Yeah. After watching how inept the Dolphins offense was without Tyreek Hill healthy, it had me questioning, this year, are they too reliant on Tyreek? What do I mean by that? Mm-hmm. Last year, their 2 starting wide receivers combined for 3,000 yards.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
3,000 yards between, like, y'all got to remember, I don't care how the Dolphins get their yards. I just want them to get them. Uh-huh. But this year, Tyreek is now on pace to have 2,000, but Waddle's only on pace to now have 1,100. Mm-hmm. So it's the same 3,000 yards. Without Tyreek, they looked lost.
Yeah.
So are they schematically too dependent on Tyreek Hill? Because it shouldn't have looked that bad without him.
They are. And the main reason why is because you see the plan that they had without him. They had 0 plan, 0 answer without Tyreek. And it was the same exact answer that they had when they played the Raiders. Reek went out of that game with some type of injury, had to go to the locker room for a quarter or 2, and they looked terrible without Tyreek Hill out there on the football field. And even as the game was going on, they showed sound when you watch the little Hard Knocks Miami. Where's Tyreek? Where's Tyreek? Like, you don't even have no plan without Tyreek, and you have guys that can make plays. You know, strictly when you talk about Waddle being in the slot and being able to run the football. You know, we talk about him running the football and designing all these plays. He has no scheme or nothing without Tyreek Hill out there, which is crazy, with no answer, because it's possibly you can lose a player in any game, and it's just no answer for that. But as I was watching the game, to be honest with you, Reek not being out there at all, I'm watching the game, and I'm like, it's tough to take these dudes serious.
Uh-oh.
Like it really is.
Why?
You playing the Tennessee Titans, who got 4 wins, with a rookie quarterback, right?
Yeah.
They turned the ball over 2 times in a red zone in a row. You know, the ball bouncing on the ground, dude's still trying to scoop the punt up and all. They just a bad football team in Tennessee. You're at home, and you find a way, you do everything to lose that game. As I was watching it, I'm like, Reek out there or not, it's hard to take these dudes serious. You got 2 big-time moneymakers on the defensive side of the ball at the corner spot. You got Bradley Chubb out there that you're paying a whole lot of money to get. Like, you have guys, and you lose to a team like that with 3 minutes left in the football game, it's tough for me to take you serious going into these playoffs, whatever seed you may get. Yeah. It's tough to take the Dolphins serious.
And they was fighting for the first seed.
They were. Now the Ravens have it exclusively.
Yeah.
Joy, the final thought for me, because Dolphins fans, obviously I'm well integrated in Dolphins Twitter, the main bargaining chip was we haven't lost to a losing team. They were the only team in football who could have said, hey, we ain't lost to a losing team. We always said the Dolphins ain't beat no good teams. They're like, yeah, but we ain't lost to no bad teams. Now the Dolphins have both not beat the good teams.
That was their comeback.
And they've lost to the bad teams. And I understood the comeback. Because they're like, well, the Eagles have lost to the Jets.
Cowboys.
Or the Ravens have lost to the Colts. Or the Cowboys have lost to the Cardinals. But the Dolphins were like, we ain't lost to nobody bad.
Niners lost to the Minnesota.
The Chiefs had lost at the top of the run. Like, exactly. So they had lost to no bad teams. How now, Joy, because you have more information, and you always teach us more information, change your opinion. How has your opinion changed knowing that now the Dolphins are both capable of losing to bad teams and have still yet to prove they're capable of beating the great teams?
Well, I don't spend any time on Twitter, so I don't know what they be talking about on there. But in real life, this is an inconsistent team. And whether they had lost to a bad team or not, every team in the NFL this year is vulnerable. No. Like, every team. Even the best team in the Niners, who we think is head and shoulders above everybody else. Everyone's vulnerable. The issue that I have with the Dolphins is it's not just that you lost to good teams and you didn't look good in those losses. It wasn't really competitive. This loss to me shows a lack of discipline. You can't blow a lead like that. That's crazy. It's crazy. That is a significant lead. And they gave it to you also. Like, they're the ones that are playing and dropping the ball and muffin punts as they should. They're not a good team. And they're led by a rookie quarterback. For you to give him the space, like, respect to him. He was incredible in those 3 minutes. But what are we talking about? What are we talking about? was 3 minutes. It's 3 minutes.
Man.
You on the road. Like, there's no reason that he should be able to do
They
that.
didn't use no timeouts. That was smart. I'm like, they doing this with no timeouts?
It's
No,
nonsense.
I'm saying they had 3 left. They held.
Right.
I was surprised to see
Yeah,
that.
it's a nonsense end to a game. It's inexcusable, especially if you're a team that is considered to be a contender. It's obviously disappointing, but and you didn't have Tyreek. You have to be able to pivot off of one receiver, especially when you have other talent out there. Tua is in the MVP conversation. It's just an unacceptable loss. So look, it doesn't mean the season's over. It doesn't mean you're not going to be in the postseason or have an opportunity. But if you're going to beat a good team, you can't do that because you just lost to a bad team. You had a multiple score lead.
And to be honest,
double-digit lead.
I don't think you could even they're a scary team. But when I'm looking at them, like, are they really?
They
That's
not.
that part.
They
If
not.
if Tyreek has a broke shoelace, right? Be safe. And then what?
Yeah. Man,
You can't be that. You
about
can't be
that,
that
though.
reliant on one player. Obviously, every team is reliant on their quarterback, so I say that with that knowledge. But the one good takeaway for me is
Ooh, a good one.
there's always a silver lining.
Right.
But one good takeaway is I don't want to have a conversation with one human about how valuable Tyreek Hill is to this team.
yeah, that's a good one.
Save that conversation for your mama or whoever wants to hear it because it ain't
Your baby
me.
mama, your baby
I'm
daddy.
uninterested. I'm uninterested in that conversation.
Already know.
This is a Dolphins team that has one of the top offenses in the league all season long. Tyreek is out and they can't do anything.
Bernie Mac said it best. If I get up, it's going to be trouble. And that's what the Dolphins is in right now because I'm looking at this right here. Jets, Cowboys, Ravens, Buffalo. Good luck. That's their next 4 games.
And when you doing this thing, reading all these teleprompters and all that, and we talk to MVPs, and I know you feeling Dak. Is Dak
Because he got to vote. He got to vote.
Because you do got to vote. I want you to stand up for all the voters and say, don't let what Vegas is telling. Don't believe that.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.